Hello everyone. The world is our classroom. Why do we say that? Because our students are traveling the world virtually with Skype in the classroom. Recently, my students got the chance to visit the Mote Marine Laboratory or Aquarium, which is in the United States of America. This aquarium is famous for its sharks. Students got the chance to learn about health of sharks, different species of sharks. Students learned that there are 500 different species of sharks on the earth. Then students got to know more about whale sharks, white sharks, and why sharks are in trouble and why should we protect them. It was 10:30 in the night according to Indian Standard Time, but my students didn't give up. They all were present and they all enjoyed the tour a lot and learnt a lot as well. I'm very proud of my students as they are showing this spirit to learn new things and to explore the world. I'm very thankful to Microsoft Education and Skype in the Classroom
They
for
help keep
availing
the
us
ocean
these
in balance.
opportunities.
That's absolutely right. So the neat thing about sharks is that they are known as apex predators, which means that they're at the very top of the ocean food chain. And if you take those sharks out of the ocean food chain, everything below them falls apart, and then the ocean isn't in balance, and then it gets really sick. And we want to keep the ocean nice and healthy, right? Now, unfortunately, sharks, they're not doing so well globally. And one of the biggest threats to sharks is unsustainable fishing. So one of the biggest problems is actually known as unsustainable seafood. Now, one of the best ways to help out is by making sustainable seafood choices. Sharks are often known as bycatch, which is a really fancy way to say that sharks are accidentally caught in other seafood industries. So they're targeting one thing and they accidentally catch a shark, which means that sharks are bycatch. So one of the best things you can do, no matter where in the world you are, is if you have the opportunity to download a free app on your phone, or you're actually really picky eaters, believe it or not. They have very specialized teeth. And people, we're not on the menu for any shark. No shark has teeth that are specially designed to eat people. And between you and me, people don't taste very good. So compared to exactly what we feed our animals. Now, it gets even more interesting, though. One of the reasons that it's really important to target our sharks one-on-one is that because we actually hide shark vitamins and minerals and medicine inside of their food, just like you might do with your pet at home, where you hide their medicine inside roast beef or peanut butter or cheese. That's exactly what we do with our sharks. So we want to make sure that the individual shark is getting the correct food and with the correct medicine on those target poles. Now, we work with our animals through a process called positive reinforcement, which is a really fancy way to say that we never force our animals to interact with our scientists. But if they choose to interact with our scientists, then they are positively rewarded to learn how to track and feed and tag and monitor and science with sharks in the first place. Well, as I mentioned in the very beginning of this program, we actually have been working with sharks since 1955 with our founding director, Dr. Eugenie Clark, who is a world-famous shark biologist. And she was so famous for her shark research, she was actually nicknamed the Shark Lady. Now, she was not only a pioneer in shark science, where she actually learned that sharks are about as smart as a rat or a rabbit, believe it or not, and that they can actually understand colors and patterns, which is the same science we use today with our sharks. But she also pioneered the field of women in marine science. Because back in the 1950s, there weren't a lot of women scientists, let alone women marine biologists, let alone women shark scientists. So yay, women in science, even back in 1955. Now, that was a long time ago, however. But we have lots of shark scientists that are doing some amazing shark research today. One of our most famous shark scientists here at Mote Marine Laboratory is Dr. Bob Hueter. Now, Dr. Bob Hueter is famous for his whale shark research. Now, does anyone know, all of you shark scientists out there, what is a whale shark famous for? What makes a whale shark super unique? Let me know in the chat box. So for everyone that's saying size, you're absolutely right. They're super small, right? No, not at all. No, they're not small. They're absolutely gigantic. That's right. Whale sharks are not only the largest species of shark in the entire world, but they are the largest species of fish in the entire world. Because believe it or not, sharks are a type of fish. That's right. We have someone that said they are huge. Yes, understatement of the world. So the neat thing about whale sharks is even though they're absolutely enormous, bigger than a school bus, over 45 feet long, they eat teeny tiny little food. In fact, they eat little shrimp or plankton or even the eggs of other fish. Now, we actually even have some whale shark teeth we can show you, because even though they get absolutely enormous, their teeth are super small. They're about the size of a grain of rice. So here I have my pencil right here, and here are two whale shark teeth. Now, let me adjust the light a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now we have two whale shark teeth right here compared to one great white shark tooth. So even though whale sharks are way bigger than great whites, a great white has the largest tooth of any living shark today. But whale sharks are absolutely gigantic, but with teeny tiny little teeth. Now, even though whale sharks are so big, they're still pretty mysterious. And Dr. Bob Hueter wanted to fix that. So every year, around this time actually, summer and spring, all of these whale sharks group together off the coast of Mexico, where they eat the eggs of other fish. But the interesting part is after they eat the eggs of these fish in these giant groups, they pretty much vanish. And Dr. Bob Hueter wanted to figure out, where do these whale sharks go? So in order to better understand where these whale sharks go, he started attaching satellite tags to the dorsal fin, or the back fin of these whale sharks. So every time the back fin would touch the surface of the water, it would send out a little satellite ping that would allow our shark scientists to follow these sharks all the way around the world. And it turns out that these whale sharks are actually globe-traveling animals. They eat off the coast of Mexico, and they end up off the coast of Africa. How crazy is that, right? Now, Dr. Bob Hueter isn't the only shark scientist here at Mote that uses technology to study sharks. We have another amazing shark scientist named Dr. Nick Whitney, who studies one of the most famous sharks out there, the great white shark. I saw some people in the chat box saying that great whites are their favorite shark. Well, they're Dr. Nick Whitney's favorite shark too. Now, although they're so popular, they're pretty mysterious. So we also want to learn more about what they're up to out in the ocean. And in order to better understand what they're up to, Dr. Nick Whitney uses this amazing piece of technology called an accelerometer. Now, this is a super fancy high-tech piece of equipment. So let me know in the chat box if you have ever used an accelerometer in one of your science classes before. Let's see, maybe in your physics class, or a math class, or a biology class? Well, if you're saying no, I bet you have. You just didn't know it yet. Because if you have ever used a smart device ever, whether it's a smartphone or a tablet, then you have used an accelerometer. Because the accelerometer is the little computer inside the phone that lets it know which direction it's facing, whether it's portrait mode or landscape mode, to adjust the screen. And that is exactly what it tells our shark scientists about our great whites. It tells us how fast they're swimming, how deep they're diving, how they're moving through the ocean. And believe it or not, you can learn a lot about a shark just by how it moves. You can tell if it's hunting. You can tell if it's mating. You can tell if it's giving birth. So it's a pretty amazing piece of equipment to let us know about these mysterious animals. Now, you might be wondering, though, why do we want to learn about sharks in the first place? Why do we care about sharks in the first place? Well, let's see if you can figure it out. Are sharks even important? So we have another quiz question for you. Let me know in the chat box, why do you think sharks are important? Do you think they behind us? We have a shark on our logo, so oh my gosh, we are famous for our shark research, and that is exactly what we're going to be learning about today. Now, I already see that we have questions rolling in. That is so awesome. Amazing shark lovers out there. However, I promise we will get to your questions at the end of today's presentation. We'll leave around 10 minutes to answer all of your sharky questions. So keep all those jawsome questions. I promise I'll give you fantastic answers at the end. But before we answer all those questions, let's learn about some sharks in the first place. because Moat Marine Laboratory isn't only a scientific laboratory, but we are also a public aquarium. And we are actually going to be able to see a shark feeding and training session today with our shark scientists taking care of the sharks who live with us. Now, before we dive in, though, I love that we have so many people that are asking questions. Pretty amazing. We just have people joining us from the Philippines, which is wonderful. So